Hey guys, it's Paul, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. So today we're going to do something a little out of the ordinary for me, and I'm actually kind of excited to try this out. So it's just an idea I had the other day, and I'm into city designs and stuff, and I noticed that there's one element of cities that no one has really ever made in Minecraft, and that is traffic lights, which is interesting because people have conquered everything else, like roads and buildings and subway systems and even like transit lines and stuff. But I've never seen working traffic lights in Minecraft. But before you say, well, oh Paul, there's videos out there that have working traffic lights in Minecraft. Well, technically yes, Mumbo Jumbo's video. Now, don't get me wrong, he's an amazing Redstone YouTuber. But those aren't lights, they're just blocks that move around. It's still an amazing contraption, and it's still something I could never comprehend to build, but it doesn't function like a normal light, and also you could never fit that in an actual city setting because you just couldn't. So, and then there's another guy named the Red Engineer who has a video, but his is not lights either. It looks a little better than, like, it's a little more compact than Mumbo's design, but it's just item frames that have alternating red and green blocks in them, which I guess counts, but I've never seen an actual traffic light that's made that actually works like a traffic light with alternating lights that periodically turn on and off. So today in this video, I am going to show you how to build them. So first thing you're going to do, this is just the show part of them, so this is kind of whatever you want it to look like. So first you're going to want is make a 2x1 pillar, and you're going to want a bunch of these at the corners of a square that it's 7 blocks apart. Okay, so once you have this, I already kind of spoiled it, but you're going to want to put fences on top of each one. Now, I suggest using 4, and I'll show you why in a minute. Alright, there we go. So now you have your fences. Now, you're going to want to put fences connecting those to the middle on all 4 sides. So not the middle, but kind of like the inside. You're going to want 2x2 both ways. So kind of like this shape. Alright, sorry, correction. You're actually only supposed to put 1, because I forgot that if you put any more, then they're too spaced out and stuff. But, yeah, so now what you're going to want to do is put a black or very dark block connected to the top one. I suggest using black concrete, but anything like coal or obsidian or black concrete powder will work. Or even if you're playing 1.16, black stone or black stone bricks, whatever you want, as long as it's a dark block, and you'll see why in a minute. So you're going to want to put one of those on the top connected to each one. It doesn't look great right now, but trust me, it'll look better afterwards. Alright, so once you've done that, you're going to want to put redstone lamps on the bottom, and this is the green part of your light, because sadly in Minecraft there are no lights that are actually green, so this is the closest thing I could find. So you're going to want these green lights, like that. So that's what your traffic lights will look like, and I think it's a pretty simple design. I mean, I like the way they look. And yeah, so in this, the bonus is you have space for street signs and stuff, like say you want, I don't know, King Street, oops, and oops, I don't know, maybe whatever you want, you can put those on. There's space up here on the back of these pillars, wherever you want, because the roads will be down here. Now, here's the other half of the light. You want redstone torches, because these are the only red lights in the game, and you might be thinking, well, how are you supposed to toggle these on and off together? Because you think there's no way you can do that. Well, actually there is. And it's simple reason, because redstone torches have an opposite input to light than lamps. Because let's see how the torch is on right now and the light is off. And when you power them, they flip. So the torch goes off and the light goes on. This is the premise of how this works. So, next step, put 1 redstone wire on top of each one, like this. Okay, so once you've done that, here's the hardest part. You're going to want to put a daylight sensor behind the redstone, so kind of there. It's hard to place it, and you'll see how see how the torch turns off and the lamp turns on. This is how lights work. So if you can't quite click them, then you can always, put a block here and then this and then destroy the block if you want, whatever works. Oops. And you can put them up there too, it just doesn't look as clean if you ask me, but whatever you want is whatever you want if you were trying to build these. Alright, so that's how you do that part. So now you can see all the lights are in green mode, which is not what you want to do. And you can probably already tell, kind of a spoiler, but this is the actual premise of how the lights toggle. It's the day-night cycle, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So, So, you're going to want to pick 2 pairs of them that are not touching, so like at opposite sides. So I'm going to pick these 2 right here, and flip all their sensors to night mode. Because this flips the light, see? How now these ones are red and these ones are green, which works. And the sun's going down, and that's not good. Actually, perfect, I can tell you. Time set, I don't know, oops. See how they just turned on? It's complicated, but because it's sunset, they're all green. But if I set it to night, you'll notice that the lights that were green before, because before the Queen Street sign was next to a red light, and now it's green, and these ones are red. So it actually works, it works well, but the only problem is, well, you're thinking, how am I supposed to wait 13 minutes for the light to change? And the answer is, you can. That is the so-called passive method for how this works. But there's a more active method I'm going to show you, and it involves command blocks. So I'll see you in a second. Alright, so guys, here's how you set up, here's my minecart track I've set up. It's not exactly, you know, the cleanest, it's not the most compact design, but it works. So the premise is that a minecart will trigger this detector rail every 1 loop, which this track takes about 42 seconds. Here's a little tip if you want to make the time longer. Minecarts can travel 8 blocks between powered rails without stopping. So this one, it'll just barely make it to that one, and 7 blocks around a corner. And the reason why these are 7 is because too many 8s it's too long, and too many 7s it's too short. Like, that's the long and short of it. But yeah, so for the actual command block, you will need a command block for this. But so to get a command block, if you're in creative, just do give @p well, command _ block. There we go. So now the command block, where is it? Here it is. So you're gonna want to place that underneath the detector rail. So make sure it's the block underneath the rail like that, and you can fill the hole in after. So go to this and say time add 12,000, and this is a key part of it. And make sure it's set to impulse and needs redstone, because this will toggle the time from day to night every time the minecart goes around the track once. And there's a few other commands you're going to want to put in as well. Just quickly, don't need that. Okay. First thing is you're going to want to do time set between 3 and 9,000. I'm just going to do 6 because it's the middle of the day. Second one is game rule do daylight cycle. Set it to false so that because if it's on true, then between cycles the time will slowly tick, and eventually you'll get to a point where it's sunset, and then when it hits the track it'll be sunrise and the lights will stay the same, which is bad. So when they false, this will keep it switching the exact same way every single time. Finally, I'll show you how this works. See, so it switches it to night, and then when it goes around once. Alright, so once the minecart's almost gone around once, you can see it's approaching, it will it will hit the detector rail, change it to day, switch the lights, and it'll keep going around. Now, this will work as long as the minecart and the track are rendered. If you go out of its render distance, it will stop. So to prevent that, what you need to do is do /set world spawn and then your coordinates. Now, actually, I should have checked that before I do that. Hold on a minute. Okay, so my coordinates are -2, 65, 172. So set world spawn -2, 65, 172. And now this will be rendered as long as I've entered this at least once during the world. So clearly I'm in it, and this will be active as long as I'm here. So I'll prove it to you guys. I will turn my render distance super low and So when we go far enough away, clearly it should stay rendered. So like obviously it's out of my render distance right now, but we're gonna show in a minute that this will turn back on. Actually, I can prove it to you because I'm gonna put a daylight sensor. Because like obviously it's nighttime right now, but when it switches to day, this should turn that on. And there we go. So clearly it's out of my render distance, but because we set the world spawn, it's always rendered. It's kind of the spawn chunk thing. So this is the premise used for things like iron farms that you always want to have rendered, or any farm at all. So I don't need this anymore. So this proves that this will stay on as long as you want, which is nice if you're building a city and you don't want to build a ton of them, perfectly spaced, so your render distance is like there's always one rendered. No, you can just have this one. I suggest burying it underground because this kind of looks not great if you're building a city, but it'll work fine if it's underground as long as it's rendered. And so yeah, I'm just gonna fix this real quick. That is how you make working traffic lights in Minecraft. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments or any future suggestions for videos you want to see, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. Please sub and like. I appreciate every subscriber very much. If you want to see me attempt to build more real-life city stuff, be sure to comment, and I will see you next time.